Hi, I'm Pastor Mike, and I believe Scripture makes a difference. If you think so too, this is a message for you. So in John chapter 1, Jesus has just recruited the core group that would eventually become his apostles. Then in John chapter 2, he takes them all along with his family to a wedding. Especially he takes his mother. And there, something is going to happen that will remove all hope of prosperity for the couple and the hope of joy for his mother. But through Jesus' intervention, that will change. And that makes this scripture that makes a difference in our times of despair. To understand why, we need to remember that weddings contain several omens for the future of the couple getting married. The more come to the party, the more blessings are delivered. The more gifts, the better the start. The longer the party lasts, the more prosperous the couple is supposed to become. And that's where the wine becomes important. Frequently, the Old Testament mentions wine as a picture of God's blessing. Plenty of wine was a sign of God's intended prosperity for the marriage. There may also have been some social obligations for a good host to provide enough for people to drink. And there may have been financial liability if the in-laws were offended. That's why Mary came to Jesus. They'd ran out of wine. And we don't know how long the party had already lasted. It may have been several days. But Mary was anxious about the wine running out for the same reasons I've already mentioned, but also she may have been serving as the hostess for the wedding. And this may have caused her anxiety because she worried that she might be accused of not planning well, or she may have been worried that not planning well had brought some kind of a bad omen on the couple. Jesus occasionally is accused of being harsh in his response when Mary comes. He refers to her as woman, which in our culture would be intended as not very tender. But in reality, it was a very respectful and very gentle response in their culture. It was recognizing her role, it was recognizing her position, recognized her need for someone to intervene. Then he says, it's not yet my hour, which could be interpreted as putting her off, but really what it means is be patient. I've got this. And Mary seems to have understood it that way. Because of her conclusion, she turns to the servants and says, do whatever he says. And then apparently just walks away. She doesn't appear again in the story. And perhaps that's where the lesson for the 21st century mothers is. Moms, you can trust Jesus with your modern anxieties, just like Mary did then. We can know that he's capable. We can think positively about the future because we know he's trustworthy. And we can say encouraging and hopeful things to other parents who always need to hear that you can phrase or good job phrases that more experienced parents need to say to new parents. We can also respond well to our parents with thanks for the way they relied on Christ and led us to Jesus for our salvation and for his care. We can respond encouragingly to our kids. Whatever their age, they need to hear that it's going to be okay. And we can respond well to ourselves. God will make it okay. We know he's done it before. And this will make a difference when mothers face the things that drain their hope. Things like sickness. We're all worried about our kids right now with the COVID virus going around and the pandemic and all the news that we're hearing. But there's always the flu or cancer or colds or any number of diseases that our children can be involved in that cause us anxiety. Or we can have our own health issues. Heart disease, diabetes, cancer. We need to be able to respond with faith so that our kids can see our faith. When our kids are disobedient, we can know that God is in control. Whether they're being wise or foolish, when they're distant from us, we know that things are going to work out. They might be physically a long way away, and so we don't get to interact as much as we would like, or they may actually be emotionally distant. We know that Jesus is still there and still working in the background. And we can be sure that Jesus has got this. And that's what makes this Scripture that makes a difference. This video is adapted from the messages of Sunrise Fellowship, where we believe Scripture makes a difference. Please consider liking this video and sharing it with your friends on your favorite social media. If you live near Enid, Oklahoma, we'd love to meet you. Our service times and places are on our Facebook page and can be found by searching Sunrise Fellowship Church. I hope you'll come back again for more Scripture that makes a difference.